different points of views and practice. The convening is neither a conference or a festival, but rather an intentional gathering to celebrate and help us think forward into the future. Now, I want to spend a few minutes highlighting those who've made this event possible, this weekend possible. When we envisioned the perfect corporate partners, two names came to mind. The first was Nokia Bell Labs. Leonardo has a very long history with the original researchers from Bell Labs who contributed to our journal at a time when art and engineering was fringe. And Bell Labs has the crazy idea to create a space for artists to work with engineering and math. Today, Nokia Bell Labs has revived its intention by creating a space for empathic communication through art and engineering and technology. The second is Arab engineering. In the late 1960s, engineer Ove Arab set out to build a firm that crossed the traditional spectrum of the built environment to include different disciplines from art, sound, city planning, and engineering. Today, they are aligned in our values to build a better world. Thank you also to Hosfeld and Todd Hosfeld Gallery, who not only is a supporter of Leonardo's convening, but also has committed to showing works that transcend traditional visual arts into ones that push the envelope of transdisciplinary practice. I also want to thank our host, the San Francisco Art Institute, for allowing us to use this beautiful space. We have had a very long history with San Francisco Art Institute. If you visit the campus on Chestnut, you will even see the old Leonardo plaque marking our former offices. Today, this renowned art school is led by President Gordon Knox, whose vision of creating a place where art comes first and artists become citizens is truly remarkable. I want to point out the amazing staff that we've been able to work with at San Francisco Art Institute in their exhibitions and facilities department that's helped us guide us through this moment. We hope to continue these partnerships into the future. We also have several product sponsors that will have generously helped us throughout the weekend, nourishing us with food and drinks. So thank you to Drake's Brewing, Gordon Beers, Ripple Foods, Revive Kombucha, Vegan Rob's, Gus's Market, Mr. Espresso, Wholesome, Purity Organics, Kind, Jackson Winery, and Safeway. Now, please let me introduce the crew to you. Part of the development of this weekend is due to 13 talented graduate students who have spent countless hours designing, exploring, and learning. So if you are one of these 13 students who has been working with me for the last couple of months, please stand up and raise your hand. A lot of them are in the back. Okay, great. And this crew is led by Leonardo's very own Meredith Tromble. Where's Meredith? She's probably back in she's in one of the experiences. I'm sure she's still setting up her room. So if you see Meredith, please also thank her. So tucked away in downtown Oakland is the Leonardo office. So raise your hand when I call your name. Managing Editor, Erica Ruby. Senior Editor, Nick Kronbach. And then in the very front, you all met her this morning, is our editorial assistant, Stacy Jerger. Now this is the core team that helps Leonardo tick. I also want to thank some of our core volunteers led by Kira Brown. Where's she? Kira around here? Okay, she's also probably running around. And okay, there she is. And Charutha Singh, who is also, I think she's somewhere raising around here. So Kira and Charutha, and then we have 20 volunteers plus here today. So please raise your hand if you're volunteering with us this weekend. There's volunteers all over, so thank them very much. Now, the evening part of this evening was produced by Kodame Art and Tech, an inclusive volunteer-driven organization whose mission is to inspire through experiences. So please stand up if you're part of the Kodame team. Okay, they're not here yet, but you'll see them tonight. Okay, I thought they would be here. So I also especially want to highlight the Kodame curator, Vanessa Chang, whose vision and planning can be seen through excellent artists and that have been selected for this evening. I also want to thank Alan Bolden and the rest of the Leonardo Governing Board who have been supportive throughout the year for the vision of this weekend. So please raise your hand if you're part of the Leonardo Board of Directors. And I want to thank the artists that are participating and exhibiting today. We have artists from around the world. and you will be meeting a lot of them through these experiences and through the evening performances and reception. And we'll go over those throughout the day. And I also want to thank all of our speakers and presenters, and I want to thank all of our 50th anniversary hosts, and we will do a special ceremony for the 50th anniversary hosts tomorrow evening. So if you have hosted one of our 50th anniversary events, please raise your hand. Okay. Thank you. Now I want to turn back to everyone in the room. Now there are so many people that I want to thank, but I do want to have everyone kind of understand who's in this space. So if you are a laser host, please raise your hand. Okay. If you have spoken on a laser, please raise your hand. If you have written for any Leonardo publication, please raise your hand. If you have reviewed an article for Leonardo, please raise your hand. If you have been one of our Scientific Delirium Madness residents, please raise your hand. If you're a member of the Leonardo Education and Art Forum, please raise your hand. If you have read anything from any of our Leonardo publications, please raise your hand. And if you are connecting with Leonardo for the very first time, please raise your hand. All right, welcome. Great. Now, before I hand this off to our executive editor, Roger Molina, I do want to say a few housekeeping notes, and I'll wrap this up also when we go into at the very end. So if you need to use the restroom, they're towards the front of the building to the left. There is a hallway, and there's 2 big restroom stalls. There's also, if you are upstairs, there are some bathrooms to the very, very back of the room, or back of the upstairs this direction, okay? For lunch, there'll be a few food trucks and a DJ outside. There's also a few restaurants at Fort Mason, so there's plenty of stuff to eat. You can walk around when we have that lunch hour. And then after you hear Roger, you'll have a few minutes to get to your experience room. So this is how the day works with the experiences. So there's a morning session and an afternoon session, and we can help guide you to those rooms. You should have gotten an experience card, 2 of them at least, unless you're in the room with Matt Granishaw, then you would be in that room for the whole day. So if you haven't had an experience card, please definitely get one at reception. And then we